Okay, red flags are red flags, and red flags are most likely going to lead to non negotiables, deal breakers, and that's already where you need to have your mindset on, like, hey, this woman is probably not going to be around for a while. Now, I could name a whole lot of red flags. I'm sure you guys seen red flags. I'm sure y'all know what red flags are, even non negotiables, even deal breakers. So, I'll just say this because I'm not going to go too much into those. But when you got to question yourself, or when you know, but you want to deny it, yeah, there's a problem there, right? Like, but you want her to be better. You want her to be this type. Okay. So when this happens, I want y'all to pour more into yourself. That's the first thing that came to my mind, because you're going to end up lacking confidence because you don't have a sense of control over her. As a man, when you are being challenged to stay masculine, when you are being challenged to be able to run the relationship as the man in the relationship, and now you're feeling like she's taking charge, or she's presenting these things to your face that you have to accept, or being a specific certain way and playing games, etc., you then still stay, or you then still deal with her. However, if you still have confidence, basically you're building up enough courage for the moment you decide to say, this is it, I'm walking away, or hey, like, I need my distance, etc. Because when you're lacking, you might then accept it, right? But what's going to happen is that she's going to start kind of like manipulating, gaslighting, the other things that I talk about. So the reason why I say you want to work more on yourself at that given moment, obviously at all times you should be, but at that given moment the most, because you don't want to kind of lose yourself in the sense of like, who should I become? What should I do for her? What could I do to help the situation? Those are not questions that you should be asking yourself. Now I have a question for y'all. Do you find that you stay too long when you get the signs that maybe something's a bit off, or flat out something is off and you maybe or you should go? Comment it down below. Let your stories be known. I feel like it helps out fellas, of course, when you help out each other, but I also think that when men do understand another man is going through the same thing, or you guys do deal with women doing similar stuff, I feel like, you kind of get a good insight of like, okay, you know what? It happens, but also moving on, doing all that detaching space, all that other stuff is very important. So let it be known. If y'all have any questions, concerns, let it be known. Don't forget about joining the free membership on Patreon. And if you want to be a paid member, get 200 plus content, you can. But if you are a free member, you do get one exclusive content. And you can also be a YouTube member if you're not on Patreon. And don't forget, consultations are available and all that other stuff on my website, like things that can help you, etc. So check it out. The links are there. And so let me move on to now. Remember, the main focus is you're evolving, you're elevating. Once you have a woman in your life that's not adding and taking away from your peace, or taking away from your drive and ambition, etc., then you're going to find yourself being hesitant of, let's say, having confidence in, oh, I should pursue that. So don't take this wrong, but sometimes it is bad enough. Maybe things aren't going exactly how you wanted to in this exact moment. But why would you add more fuel to the fire by remaining around when you can kind of, in a sense, isolate yourself, not necessarily from the world or woman, you could do that, but specifically from her. So when you're doing this, if you want to stay in communication, as I said, however you want to go about it, you can do that. But I want the main important thing, the main focus to become, okay, how am I going to be pouring into myself? Now, let me give you some examples of things you can be doing. You can start being more social with men, right? And I say social, like put yourself out there so you don't feel like you're codependent on her. You could also challenge yourself to have a social life, or a better social life. Next is pouring more into going into the gym. Use the gym as a place to get your mind free, lock in, focus. It is winter arc, but you want this to be an all year thing anyways. So the sooner you start, the more you have a routine and habits put into place where you're building a structure that has a great foundation for when a woman is good for you, she could come in, but there's no way she could destroy it or bring you down. And of course, when you have a lot to lose, you don't want to risk it. And also, when your confidence is there, guess what's even better? You know where not to budge, which is very important. And so let me move forward to another example. You can also try to have more women around. You don't have to entertain or be with women just because they are around. It's just the idea of knowing there is options. Don't be so caught up on who's my best option, because if she's your best option, you might lack confidence, or you might just pour more into her because of the idea of, I'm going to lose the best thing I have. Remember, it's really all in your head. If you believe that, you believe that, right? The next aspect of it, when you are having that woman energy around, let's just think about if she is really in her femininity, if she's really chill, if she's really good to talk to, or she's just good vibes, right? You don't feel like, oh, there's pressure, or you don't feel like you got to be like guarded with her. And even if you have to be guarded, you just feel like, hey, I'm not worried about however this woman acts, because you're not attached to her. So the differences are knowing that when you do get attached, or you allow a woman to emotionally impact you, then you have to change things differently, because it's going to be a ripple effect that will carry on onto your life, onto your habits, setting things up for when things aren't going as planned. Let's say that you then go ahead and feel like you're taking steps backwards, and it's going to feel more like bigger steps backwards than minor or setbacks for a great comeback, or steps that are just going to be backwards for lessons, and they're required and they're actually really necessary. So I say that to say you want to make things the best for yourself, and it comes down to being as that simple. How could you make it that simple for yourself? That could literally look like, you know what? I want to talk to her less today. Let's see what she does. Don't forget about testing her too. She's going to test you regardless. But even pulling away because you're trying to balance yourself out, not getting too caught up on her, or wow, I just had such a great experience, or man, this is the different type of woman that I've came across in a long time. Like, all that stuff sounds good, but all that stuff can also become one of your downfalls, because if she gets in your mind, gets in your emotions too much, once more, as I started this video saying, who's really going to be having the control? And she doesn't necessarily have to have full control in a lot of aspects, but your emotions is a big part of it. And part of getting used to somebody does cause you to have some sort of emotions. Now, it doesn't need to be that you're in love, obsessed, whatever other emotions that you can feel when you really care or it's excessive, but it could just be, oh, I'm so used to them. Oh, I just want to call them. Oh, I just think about them right when I wake up, or throughout the day, or right before I go to bed, right? Like, sometimes a woman really believes that, hey, the first thing on his mind is me, and I know that. So just remember, these things, she knows what she's doing, but however you act to show that it doesn't get to you, it's not affecting you, and if anything, you're getting better, that's what matters the most. I hope this video helped you out. Don't forget about the links down below. I love y'all. Take care of yourself, and bye, y'all.